Welcome to Whitney's channel. Hi guys, hello, my name is Whitney Wiley and welcome to my channel. So today I am doing a video on the Urban Decay Naked Shapeshifter palette. Here she is. So cute. Anyway, I picked up this palette at Sephora and I personally love contour and highlighting powders and creams, and I wanted to try this out because I'm always interested to see if they will work with my skin tone, so I had to try this one out. So if you would like to see this palette in action, I'm going to use a majority of the colors on my face so you can see how it works. And if you'd like to see that, then please keep watching. Also, if you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, please don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. Just hit that red button down below. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. I make videos every week, so if you hit the button, you won't miss a future one. All right, let's see how this palette works out. Okay, here is the palette. I have to go ahead and mention that I think the packaging is awesome. It looks like the writing is on like silk bed sheets or something. The cool thing about these palettes is they had two different shade options. And normally when I see two different shades, I assume that one of the shades, even the deepest shade, won't work for my skin tone, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. So when I swatched in Sephora, I was quite shocked to notice that the deeper tone actually looked like it would work for my skin. So they have light medium and then medium dark. So I got the shade medium dark, and I thought this would be a really cool palette for travel. Let me show you why. So let me take it out. Once again, it kind of has that like silk sheet look, and it's not too thick actually. I thought this would be perfect for travel because inside, if you've never seen it before, it comes with the 4 powder shades and a mirror here. So you have the 2 contour shades over here, then you have the lighter powder that you can use to set, and then you have literally a highlighter on the end. And then on the other side, you can just flip it over so you can actually flip the mirror. It's kind of hard to hold and show you guys. And on the other side is another mirror and the cream contour selection. So for the cream contour, sorry, I feel like I'm blinding you guys. All right, with the cream contour, you have the darkest shade, you have a medium shade here, the reddish hue, which is used for dark circles, and then you have a shade here that you use for highlighting and lightening or concealing, and then you actually have a cream highlighter. So you can put this underneath your highlighter on your cheekbones or anywhere where you would like to make your skin pop. So this one has 5 shades, the other side the powder has 4. I thought this was perfect for traveling because you can get your contour, your concealing, your color correcting, everything, highlighter, all in one. So this is all packed in one little thing. Personally, I would probably bring, let's see, 2, 3, 4 extra products, or I could get it all in this one palette. So I think this is perfect for travel. I'm happy to say that the darker shades actually do show up on my skin tone. But yeah, let me show you them in action. Also, I looked up a little bit of information about the palette online, and it mentioned even though there are 2 shade options, if you're in between the 2 shades, just pick the one that's closest to your skin tone, and then you can use the colors inside, especially with the cream. Actually, you can do cream or powder, but you can use the colors inside to blend and make your own custom tone. So say, for instance, that this contour shade is a little too dark for you, you could always blend it with a little bit of this shade as well so that you can find a middle shade that will work for you. Or vice versa, if you're a little too light, you can always add the darker color in to help deepen the shade. Also, I want to mention with this setup, the double-sided mirror is pretty awesome, and it's in between the 2. In the past, when I've had powders and creams that are in one compact together or one palette together, if I travel, or it doesn't even matter if I travel, if I just close the container and put it back in my makeup bag and I didn't like blow off the dust from the powder side, then they would always stick to the creams. It creates quite a big mess. So I like how there is this mirror in between that separates the cream and the powder shades. Therefore, there's never any cross contamination. So I love that design. Lastly, I want to mention with this palette that I didn't pick up the brush that they also offer. They have the Shapeshifter brush, which is for, I believe, $39, $40, and then this palette itself runs for $45. I felt like I had enough brushes in my collection that I can make it work without their brush. But if you do feel like you need their brush, they have that for $40. I'll link that down below too. If you do want to check out the brush or check out the palette, I'll put a link down below. Okay, so I already started out. I put on primer, foundation, and did my brows. Just so you know, for primers, I did the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and then I did Dr. Brandt Pores No More, 2 primers that I truly love. And then for my foundation, I went in with the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation. This is in Reverent. And then for my brows, I did a combination of the NYX Micro Brow Pencil and then the Benefit Kaboom. I carved them out with the NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer in Caramel. All right, so let's go in and start with cream contour. I'm gonna do creams first and then powders. So I also have not concealed because I wanna try to use the concealer from the palette to see how that works as well and how that wears. See if there's any creasing, any of that. I am gonna go in with this flat top brush right here for the cream contour. I think it's perfect to get in those cheekbones. So I'm gonna go in on the cream side with this darkest shade. I like how this is a cream, but it's not very sticky to the touch. It seems to effortlessly seep in with my current foundation that I already have on my face. Seems to blend fairly well too. I'm gonna go back in with my beauty blender just to blend it out even more, but I kind of like to use this brush just to place it down. Also gonna go below my jawline, just add a little dimension there. And so far, this contour looks very natural to me. It's definitely doing what it's supposed to do, adding a little bit of shadow. It's not too warm of a contour, which is also nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with a damp beauty blender and I'm just gonna blend out the edges a little more. So far, I think it looks pretty good. It's blended really well into my foundation. It looks fairly seamless to me. I am not going to do cream contour on my nose. I think I'll just go in with a powder, but I'll leave this here. Next, I'm gonna go in and I will use this yellowish shade right here for concealing, but first I'll put a little bit of the red undertone down just underneath my eyes to just help with any darkness, and then I'll go in with the yellow hue right here as a concealer. I'm gonna go in with this little rounded brush here to apply the color corrector and then the concealer, and then I will blend it all out with my beauty blender. Let's go in with the red tone right here. I'm just gonna place this right underneath my eye, just the areas that are the darkest. I'm not gonna use this to highlight like I will with the concealer. Also gonna add a little bit right here because I get a little darkness here. And I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender. Just tap it out. It's okay if a little bit of color still shows through because we're gonna go ahead and put concealer on top of this. All right, now I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade here, the yellow undertone, and I'm going to use that for concealer. I'm gonna bring it down the side of my nose and out in that upside down triangle. And put some down the center of my nose. And then on my chin. All right, I'm gonna go with my beauty blender and blend this out. Okay, wow, I think this turned out really good. It definitely added some light to the center of my face. It blended out fairly well. Now I'm gonna go in and set this concealer because typically it creases under my eyes within the first minute of me putting it down if I don't set it with powder. So I'm going to go in on the powder side and I'm gonna take this lightest shade, the yellow shade, and I'm going to go ahead and set that. I'm gonna use the Kat Von D dual-ended brush. I love this brush. So I'm gonna go in with the light side into that yellow. I'm gonna go in and set this. All right, I think they did a really beautiful job of setting. My concealer It looks pretty good. It's not settling in any of my pores or lines. So far I really like that powder. Actually, I'm gonna take that powder and I'm gonna use like a angled sponge. Like this is what I used to typically bake. You can see my baking powder here. I'm gonna use this to clean up the contour as well. But first I'm gonna go in with the shade side of my Shade and Light brush and then the darkest shade of the contour powder, which actually I think I could probably play with both of these, but I'm gonna go with the darkest just so we can see how that hue works on my skin tone and how dark you can really go. But obviously know that you can always lighten the contour if it's a little too much for you, because you have 2 shades to work with to mix in between. I'm gonna go ahead and set the cream contour. Wow, that is dark. That's pretty. That is so pretty. And then I just like to take my powder brush to blend out the edges so it's not so harsh. There's nothing really on here, maybe a little bit of leftover face powder. All right, that is so pretty, wow. I think it put a very natural contour tone on my face and deepened my face in a very natural looking way. Okay, now I'm gonna go in as natural as it can be. Now I'm gonna go in with that sponge and I'm gonna take the light highlight shade, the powder side, and see if I can define, yeah, I can define this contour a little more so it's not as muddy. And we're gonna let this bake for a minute. And while it bakes, I'm gonna go in with a little small blending brush like this and do my nose contour. I'm just gonna do the powder and I'm gonna go ahead and still use that darkest shade like I used for all over my face. And I'm going to contour my nose real quick. Also, while that's baking, I'm gonna go in with the lighter contour shade right here, and I'm going to take a eyeshadow blending brush. I'm just going to put that in my crease for a very simple eye look, just so we can see what this looks like. I think this looks really pretty as well, and the great thing is if you bring this is also a great transition shade for darker skin tones. So you can use this as your transition shade, then you don't need to bring that with you when you're traveling. And honestly, you could just pop the highlighter right here on the lids and call it a day, or add the darker of the contour tones in the pocket of the eye a little bit more if you want a little more definition. All right, let's wipe away that bake. I'm just gonna take a dual fiber brush like this and wipe it away. Okay, I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and then I'm gonna come back and show you guys the powder highlight so you can see that on. Okay, I finished up my makeup real quick. I didn't do anything too crazy. I just did a Kat Von D liquid lipstick and then I went and put the powder highlighter on the inner corners and on the lid of my eye, and a little mascara and eyeliner, and we are done. So now I wanna try out the powder highlighter on my cheeks and on my nose, and a little bit on my upper lip. So the powder highlight is surprising. It looks very pink / peachy gold. You can tell it has gold reflex, but it looks like a very pink hue. Here it is over here, but it comes out gold. Like that's what's on my lids right now, and it's so gold. So I'm gonna go in with an Anastasia highlighting brush right here, and let's try highlighting the cheekbones. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go in, whoa, that's bright. Whoa. Oh my god. Oh, this looks pretty. It's definitely a true gold shade. I don't think I have a shade that's this gold. Oh my gosh, that's really pretty. I'm gonna come closer so you can just see. Wow. Okay, there we go. I think it looks beautiful. You can kind of make a judgment yourself, but I think it went on really, really well. So pretty. The contour powder definitely blended in very well. All in all, I think this is an amazing palette. I think it's definitely worth the $45. It's a little steep, but when you think about all the shades you get and how they're all going to be useful, I think that it's definitely worth it. I know that with my skin tone, a lot of times I can buy face palettes like this and like maybe I can use 1 or 2 shades, but I can't use everything in the palette. But I really truly feel like I can use every single shade in this palette, which makes it definitely worth $45 for me. I think it's also worth it for travel alone because I end up taking this gigantic makeup bag every time I travel, trying to put all my products together. So to have pretty much all of my face products in this one palette is great. The only thing I'm missing is a powder, or an all over face powder, and then a blush. If they had a blush in here, that would have been awesome. But that is the only thing you need, just blush and your face powder. So that's really nice. And honestly, I think these work really beautiful as eyeshadows as well. I would maybe bring like one other lid shade. So I definitely think that this is a win. I love this Naked Shapeshifter palette. It definitely surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to work that well for me. I always assume the worst, but I am very, very surprised. Definitely check it out yourself if you're interested. Go and swatch it in Sephora. I will put links down below to the palette and the brush if you're interested in the brush as well. And then also all the other makeup I used on my face. So if you're interested in the lip color or the blush I use, I'll put all those links down below as well so you can check those out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope I gave you guys a little bit of insight into the palette. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy it because I'd love to have you. And comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. Will you be picking it up yourself? Do you think it's worth it? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video and I will talk to you later. Bye. Oh my God. Shook. Okay, shook. Ah! I love it.